Welcome to the worst of the best podcast. You wanted the best. Well, they didn't freaking make it! So here's what you get. From Canada and
Washington State,
Ryan and
Zip. Welcome to another episode of the Worst of the Best podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me today I have a very special guest co-host, somebody who's been on the show before. He's filling in for Jason, who's traversing the Grand Canyon. Zip, how you doing?
Doing good. I'm glad I'm here and not at the Grand Canyon.
Fair enough. I understand. Now, Zip, you and I have done a few of these episodes together. One that comes to mind is we did the breakfast episode. Do you remember the breakfast food episode?
I do remember I've done so many of these, I don't even remember all of them, honestly. But I do remember breakfast.
It's funny that we did a breakfast one together because we got another morning
centric.
I sent you a few topics, and I'm a little surprised you picked this one. What were your reasons for picking this one over the other ones?
What were the other two? Hold on, let me.
The other two were 10 reasons history was beyond gross.
I don't like gross stuff.
Okay, so, fair enough. And then 10 people that were incriminated by their own selfies. I thought you might like that one where people.
I was kind of on the fence, but I thought this one was more prime to make fun of things because sometimes people have terrible advice.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go through now.
And really, I've looked through the list already, and I've only seen one that just really stands out to me as
a bad
dumb,
or as a good thing?
As dumb.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So as per the show, don't reveal your pick till the very end. Yep. And even when we get to your pick, try to present it in a way that doesn't reveal, of course, that this would be your worst pick, if that makes sense. As best you can. We can, of course, we're going to make fun and light of certain things, but we try to keep the audience
suspense. Yeah, keep them in suspense.
But there's been, as you've heard some of our shows, there's some that are just so blatantly obvious. But the joy of this podcast isn't necessarily the big reveal. It's we're just talking about the topics and what they bring up and how they apply to our life. Highly successful individuals craft distinctive morning routines that go beyond the typical breakfast and exercise. Whether they're industry titans or celebrated artists, these early hours serve as a canvas for creativity, laser-like focus, and personal growth. These people that we're going to bring up with each list has a person that of rapport that could be like, oh, that person does this thing to be successful. Take it for what it's worth for some of the individuals we list. But these unorthodox practices offer valuable inspiration to reconsider your own morning routine, potentially unlocking higher levels of productivity and mental clarity. Join Zip and I as we delve into 10 morning rituals of accomplished individuals, and we then pick what we think is the worst one. Now, before we get into these, Zip, what's your average morning? Maybe do you want to share what makes a Zip morning?
I have animals, so that they dictate the schedule because you get up and you have to do all those chores. And I'm actually bad. I don't eat breakfast a lot of times. And so really I just make coffee or have something. And I quit drinking, so I don't have the hangover element in it anymore. So that you get up earlier a lot of times now.
Yeah, spoiler alert, none of these 10 morning routines for successful people involve a
hangover. Yeah, because the hangover completely throws a wrench in your morning. Yeah, you don't want to. That's the worst thing is it's especially cats. Like the dog is too polite. And if you forget to feed her, she doesn't remind you. At least mine doesn't. But the cats, if you're like 1 minute late, they're tap dancing on your head, getting you out of bed.
You gotta get a door. Are your cats the door scratcher cats?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
They howl in agony if they're away from. They think that every time they're on the other side of a door, there's a huge cat party going on.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. My morning routine is similar to yours. I don't eat breakfast. I usually just have coffee or just water in the morning, and off to work I go. Very quick. I get up at 6:45 in the morning. I'm out the door at 7:15. It's really just put on my clothes, get the crusties out of my eyes, and and out the door.
So you don't get the children ready? Is that your?
They're either usually sleeping or.
Oh yeah, that's pretty early.
Right.
Yeah,
or they just do. No, that's. I hate to say it, my poor wife. She does the morning routine with the kids.
Because that's with the military. God forbid something happen before or after 6 a.m.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
right.
good
So
Lord.
actually 6:45 is actually late for me to leave compared to my
Mhm.
previous posting. It's getting up. I leave at 7:15. I usually have to show up at my work by 7:30. So the fact that I get to leave at 7:15 is great at this job. Okay. All right. So I have a pretty standard just get up, put on my shoes, and out the door I go. That's what I do. All right. But I don't, so that doesn't fall into any of these categories. And we'll talk a little bit about how plausible maybe some of these things are or how early you might have to get up to do some of these. And I will also say, I don't think you can do them all. If
I
that
think
makes
some of
sense.
them are contradictory. Yes.
And that happens
Yeah.
with some of these lists. So this list isn't do these 10 things. We just hope with our journey today that maybe some of our listeners will be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to try that. So we're not saying to do all these things. Our job today, Zip, is to we'll pick what we think is the worst one. Now, if our worst pick is what you want to do, dear listener, that's your choice. We're not going to stop you. We're not going to stop you. Okay, so you've got the first one.
All right. Number 10, prep the night before. Preparing the night before can pave the way for a smoother, stress-free morning. To optimize your mornings, consider these practical steps. Number 1, choose your attire for the next day, laying out everything from clothing to accessories and shoes. This simple act can trim your morning routine and alleviate decision fatigue. 2, if you have a designated bag for work, school, or the gym, ensure it's stocked with all the necessary items, such as your laptop, notebooks, chargers, workout gear, and other essentials. 3, streamline your mornings further by preparing meals or snacks in advance. This not only saves time, but also guarantees nutritious options. 4, for those who relish a hot morning beverage, set the stage the night before. Prepare your coffee maker or tea kettle so that a simple button press or stove ignition is all that's required in the morning. By adopting these proactive measures, you'll create a more efficient and less stressful morning routine.
I gotta say, I know we're allowed to say one thing that wouldn't be your worst pick, and right away, this would never be my worst pick. I almost do most of these.
When I was a teacher, I did this. I literally would set out outfit, gym bag, briefcase, everything. My schedule was I was also like going to night school,
Oh wow.
and so it was time was a lot. My time was a lot more budgeted. But yeah, I actually did this.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how successful were you? I'm just joking.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't teach anymore, so that
It was a
shows you how
joke. It
successful
was a
that
joke.
career was.
But your mornings were successful. You were out the door.
Yeah.
You're not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. The
And,
coffee's
and,
good.
and you
Go
get
ahead.
away with that if you don't eat breakfast too, because you can just get up
Exactly.
and I would shower before bed. So
Yep.
I would just get up and put on clothes, and I don't have hair, so there's nothing to.
Not now. You
nothing
don't. Back in the day,
I
you
didn't
did.
then. Yeah. When I taught, I had my hair like this.
Okay.
But yeah, you're thinking of COVID Zip, who looked like a
COVID
cave
zip.
person. Who
Can you,
looked like a cave person.
can you send me a picture of COVID zip?
I have, yeah. I'll have to look. I'll have to get one for you. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
by the time it was done, the hair was down to about my shoulders, and it was just like I looked in the mirror one day. I was like, I got to cut this shit off my head. It's just
You're a
way
different
too
man.
raggedy.
You're always a handsome man, but I'm going to say you're just more handsome the way you look now.
I looked like the Captain Caveman. That's what it. Just
Or,
everything was just
Forrest Gump when he's
running through the country.
yeah. Yeah, so I do the same thing. Definitely, even with the coffee, it sounds silly. I make the grinds and have it all ready to go. So you just hit the on switch.
You
'Cause
just
when
hit
wake up
that
in the morning-
button.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to.
Some even the old coffee maker I had, actually you could set a timer in it so
You
it
can,
would go
that's
off
right.
automatically.
That's right. You can do that. The reason why I don't like that is barring when I get up from work, I don't always know when I'll wake up, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that being said, yeah, you get a timer on your coffee, it's good to go, so it's ready to go. But I drink it. I don't drink it before I go to work. I drink it at work. So I actually take it with me. I don't drink it till I get to work. So that's why I don't turn it on till it doesn't need to be ready once I wake up. Okay, yeah, all great things. I don't disagree with anything on this list. So this is my spoiler right now. This would no way be my worst pick of these 10 things. Yeah, okay. I've got the next one. This is naturally waking up to the natural world is a special experience. Instead of abrupt alarms, you can ease into the day with birdsong, rustling leaves, and the sun's gentle rays.
What am I sleeping in a hammock in the forest? What am I?
This connection to nature sets a peaceful tone. You can have the window open or maybe your drapes are open.
Okay,
But yeah, I understand. Come on, bear with
I
me.
live in an apartment building, so it's not the
The
sound of
horns
nature.
honking.
Yeah, it's the garbage truck coming to get the dumpster.
I guess it depends where you live. The natural world might be, the urban jungle might be a little bit different than fair enough. Okay. But natural waking allows your body to follow its rhythms. It aligns with your circadian rhythm, improving health and focus. Leaders like Jeff Bezos prioritize 8 hours of sleep and waking up without an alarm. So, Zip, try opening the curtains for morning light or use a gradual alarm. Embracing nature or the natural way of waking up in the morning might be the perfect way to start your day. Oh, I forgot to ask you, who do you have for? Oh, I don't have those for you. I should tell you for number 10 for yours. American Express CEO Kenneth Chenault. He does the gets everything ready in the night before. And for mine, it's Jeff Bezos who likes to wake up naturally.
Yeah.
So Jeff Bezos doesn't wake up.
If I was worth $20 billion too, I'd have the luxury of showing up to work when I want. This to me seems more like you have to be super disciplined on when you went to bed. Because
that's the natural.
If you consistently go to bed at the same time, because if I tried this crap, I'd wake up 3 hours after I was supposed to.
Okay, that was what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that is I'm actually I never wake up to. I set my alarm, Zip, never wake up to it.
Oh, really? You're one of those people that wakes up like right before it?
No, or not even just right before. This morning I went to, and I usually go to bed at a decent hour. Like I say I get up at 6:45, but I don't know when the last time I woke up that late. I'll get up at 6:20. So that's the natural. So I do this naturally. I like Jeff Bezos. I do this naturally, but I don't know if that's the thing. I don't plan it. So this one's tricky. Meaning, I think if you can do it, I'd recommend going to bed earlier. So I think if you're waking up to your alarm, or put it this way, if your alarm's set for 7 and you're going to bed at 1 in the morning, this is not a good way. You can't wake up naturally. You'll need. That's right. This is I think the key here is the 8-hour window. I do feel so much better when I don't wake up to alarm, because anytime an alarm wakes me up, that probably means I didn't sleep well because I'm still sleeping.
It implies that you didn't hit the natural amount of sleep.
So I think that's the key here is the natural way to wake up, not just the bird song. I think the point is it's not
I'm in a freaking Snow White's house.
Yeah, that's right. The idea here is wake up naturally, but to wake up naturally, I would stress you have to go to bed earlier. So there you go. I like this one too. I do this one naturally. So far I'm 2 for 2. I'm doing both. Yeah. I'm doing good, Zip. What about you? You wake up to an alarm?
I prefer to wake up naturally. When I worked nights, I actually could do this. I was much better because I would go to bed at 2 in the afternoon and I'd have to wake up at 9 at night. And that was more successful than getting up early. I'm a night owl naturally, though.
Okay. I won't hold it against you. All right. What's the next one?
I am. All right. Number 8, beat the sun. Many accomplished individuals prioritize early mornings as a time of tranquility and productivity. Rising before dawn can yield numerous health advantages, including an early start can bolster your focus and overall productivity throughout the day. Embracing the dawn can recalibrate your body's internal clock, aiding in the stabilization of blood sugar levels and facilitating better sleep. The early hours offer ample time for preparing a nourishing breakfast, known to alleviate energy levels for the day. Early risers often experience better regulation of circadian rhythms, which in turn can positively impact hormone balance and metabolism. And research indicates that those who greet the day early tend to exhibit lower levels of depression. It's worth acknowledging that the early rising routine may not suit everyone. For extreme night owls or individuals already lacking sufficient sleep, attempting to wake up early can lead to exhaustion.
Yeah, sure. And that goes without saying that we're not telling people to you can't do everything on this per se, because it doesn't quite always work. If numbers, the one that I just had, I think it was number 9 and 8 go together. So you could sleep for 8 hours. Let's say you go to bed at 9 at night and you get up at 5 in the morning. You can combine the two. So if you want to go to bed at 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, get up at 5:36 in the morning. You don't have to leave for work till 7:30. You can get a lot done. And I do agree with this one to a large degree. I'm always been an early riser. It doesn't make me a better person. I've suffered from mental health issues throughout my life, so it doesn't get rid of everything. But I think I can see how. I think starting the day, especially when you have kids, and this is for parents out there, like getting some time in on your own before the kids start just. It's nice to have that adult time. Now, a lot of parents do it at night, but I find I'm so tired at the end of the day that my wife and I will watch like one TV show, like a 40-minute show, and then I'm just like, I'm done, honey. I can't keep my eyes open. And then in the morning, we'll often get up early together, like 6 in the morning. Like even on a weekend, both of us will be up at 6:30 in the morning, just so we can have a coffee and quiet time before the chaos of kids. So I see that this can work for a lot of people to kind of get stuff done before the day starts, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I don't like the afternoon. I like nighttime, early morning
You
up
don't like the
until
afternoon.
I don't like the after. I'm always like,
What's
once
wrong
I
with the
hit
afternoon?
lunch,
What did the afternoon do to you?
I lose my productivity. If I don't get something done by 12:30 in the afternoon,
The write
it's
off.
probably not going to happen in the afternoon. I don't know why, but that's
Yeah.
just
Afternoon
and
fatigue.
so
Yeah.
I enjoy getting up before the sun comes up because I feel more productive. And that's actually been something that screwed with me in the last year. I moved up closer to your part of the world. And I noticed in the summer, the freaking sun comes out at 4 in the morning.
Oh, it doesn't do that where you were from?
No,
Oh.
I live closer to the equator. And so I
Oh.
didn't think either it was going to be that big of a difference. But oh my God, in the peak time of the summer, it felt like the sun never went down. And I know if you go up high enough, it does literally. That's
Yeah.
my idea of hell, is living in a place where the sun just spins in a circle in the sky above you. Like,
Yeah.
no,
6
thank
months
you.
of daylight, 6 months of darkness.
No,
Yeah.
I could do the 6 months of darkness. I could do that.
Oh,
or the
really? You're one of
30
those.
I could handle that. I think it would take a little getting used to, but the idea of the sun being out all day, no. Oh my God.
I think I
Sounds
would like
miserable.
yeah, funny. I'm the opposite. I think I would like to have the daylight at any time of the day, just have it ready to go. But yeah, I forgot. I guess when you go to the Pacific Northwest, I guess in the summertime, yeah, we can get the sun cracking at 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, it really screwed with my sleep because I was just like, I felt like, because I just felt like the sun never went down.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But
well, welcome to the Pacific
so
Northwest.
what celebrity is with this one?
Okay, so the person that uses this way of starting their morning is Apple CEO Tim Cook and a former First Lady Michelle Obama, or Michael Obama, whatever you prefer. Yeah.
Timely. Yeah.
Have you heard that Michael Obama conspiracy theory?
I've heard people say she is a man. I've heard that one. I grew up in the South, so I've heard every enlightened opinion about the Obamas you can possibly imagine.
Next episode, 10 signs that Michelle Obama is a man.
Or just 10 of the that would be fun, actually. The 10 most wild accusations against Obama.
Oh boy. All right. Which one do we think?
Maybe not.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe not. Maybe we should skip that one.
All right. Yeah, so that's who's associated with yours. Excuse me. All right, the next one is meditate, reflect, and be grateful, Zip. So beginning your day with meditation, reflection, or gratitude can shape a positive and production day ahead. Kickstart your mornings by journaling, setting intentions, or acknowledging gratitude. By incorporating these practices into your morning routine, we foster peace and purpose that can resonate throughout the day. So meditation clears the mind and instills calm and focus. Have you ever meditated, Zip? Have you ever actually done a meditation?
I have, actually. I pulled this up. I keep it under my desk. If you can see, they're they have a name. I can't remember what they are.
To the audience, the audio audience, you've got like those two kind of ceramic type balls.
Sorry, they're two like metal orbs that you rotate in your hand. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I started doing meditation during COVID lockdown in the morning, actually.
Okay.
I did try this because I was having a lot of anxiety. I was going stir crazy and having a lot of anxiety,
right?
Especially in the morning, and that's when I started and at this point, I really I don't meditate anymore, but I do keep these Benoit balls.
What are they called,
David? Benoit balls.
Benoit balls. I've never heard of that. Okay.
Yeah, I keep these on my desk essentially when I get stressed or I feel like really anxious, because it just keeps your hand busy.
Okay. Sorry. I'm so juvenile.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Really?
Yes, well, it's good to have balls to keep your hand busy. I agree. Okay. All right. Come on. You had Bob as your co-host for 7 years.
I got enough of that. I got enough of that.
You're like so exhausted. Like, Ryan, can you be mature?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Zeb. I'll be old business. I apologize. No more jokes. But you set those up for me. It's hard to resist. I can't. I'm not strong.
And then with the journaling, I've tried journaling, but it's like you start strong. I always felt like Doug when I was doing it.
Doug?
Oh, yeah. Doug was after your time. The whole premise was the episode started and Doug was doing his journaling, and then the episode was like him.
Who's Doug?
Being like the cartoon character, the dweeb with the green sweater.
Yeah, I never watched that. Okay.
And he'd be like, "Dear Journal, Roger kicked me in the back today." And it flashed back, and the episode was about him falling down the stairs or whatever. But whenever I do journaling, I always start strong for a couple days of
Right.
doing it. And then I
Yeah.
just half-ass it like, dear journal, ate a sandwich, move on.
Yeah, journaling is something I don't do. I used to do when I was younger. I don't do anymore. I just the reason partly why I stopped. I think journaling is just like a long form of what we're doing here on the podcast. Is you're talking about yourself or talking about your life, and I realize nobody cares. I barely care about my own life. I don't think anyone else is going to care to read my life. Like, does that
It's
make, like,
it's keeping a journal or a diary. It's antiquated because
It
back
is.
then they didn't have anything to do once the sun went down.
It's true.
So you might as well write about your day.
Do you reflect in the morning? Do you enable goal and priority assessment, facility necessary adjustments throughout the day? Do you reflect in the morning?
The most I do is I'm pretty anal about keeping like a calendar. And so I
Sure.
usually just check the calendar. I guess that'd be about the closest, and just make sure there wasn't anything I forgot to do or
I'm
anything I
reflective.
need to.
I'm reflective because I'm full of anxiety. So all I do is
Yeah.
like, what's going to happen
Yeah.
today? Oh boy, I'm
I'm
going to
like
get ready
that.
for this.
I'm like that when I go to bed. I'm much more
Okay.
filled with the anxiety when I'm laying in bed thinking too much about the next day. But yeah, usually in the morning I'm
Sure.
much more chill.
And lastly, gratitude. Zip. Do you allow gratitude to shift your mindset towards positivity and abundance by appreciating life's blessings? Do you feel
I'm
you've been
bad. I'm
blessed?
bad about that. I'm bad about that. I try like as good. I think as good as any person does, but I don't sit down. A lot of people do. Oh, end every day. Think about something good that happened.
Sure.
I just don't.
Okay.
It's just
No, I'm guilty of that too. So this was number 7, I believe.
Yep.
Richard Branson and Tony Robbins, they both practice this. And I can see
Wow.
Tony Robbins for sure. Yeah. So
Richard Branson's the Virgin Mobile guy,
that's right.
right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I always visualize him in a hot air balloon for some reason. Am I dreaming that, or is he?
No, I think he did a hot air balloon thing.
He's a
for
hot
sure.
air balloon something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Anyway, number 6, stay away from your phone. Like many of us, the reflexive habit upon waking is often reaching for our phones and scrolling through social media. Yet it's wise to refrain from this urge, abstaining from checking your phone, email, or social platforms to alleviate stress and amplify productivity. Choosing to steer clear of social media can yield a multitude of health benefits, including a hiatus from social media can lead to a reduction in anxiety, depression, and overall stress levels. Social media engagement is known to disrupt sleep patterns, making it harder to enjoy restorative sleep. Sorry, I caught up on that one. Allocating less time to social media opens up opportunities for more significant face-to-face interactions, nurturing deeper relationships. Social media often fuels feelings of low self-esteem and negative body image, making a hiatus beneficial for self-esteem and body positivity. And finally, social media can be a breeding ground for negativity and conflict, making avoidance of these influences a pertinent choice. By adopting these measures, you can foster a more serene morning routine and potentially enhance your overall well-being.
Do you disagree with any of that?
I 100% agree with this one.
Oh, yes. I thought you would.
I am
thought you
actually
would.
currently on a social media hiatus.
Tell us about it.
I deleted everything back in. I deleted 90% of everything a year ago. And then in June, the only thing I had left was my personal Instagram, and I turned that off. And I'm actually supposed to turn it back October 1st. But I decided I'm going to turn it on and just make a post to everybody saying I'm alive. And then I'm turning it back off until January 1st because I have really enjoyed not being on social media.
What have you found?
The negativity, it's a mixture of negativity because of a lot of like political stuff. You go and they call it doom scrolling where
Right.
you just read the same crap over and over again. And also just wasting time. You look up and you realize like I have sent 19 people 19 different reels on Instagram. And right now what I struggle with is putting the phone. I moved the charger away from my bed to the other side of the room. So when I go to sleep, I don't have it with me. And that's been an ongoing struggle because a lot of times I like to go on like Reddit before bed. I guess that counts as social media. I don't post on Reddit.
That's a good question. I'd put it this way. Reddit does have a lot of negativity.
I don't engage with anybody.
But no, I don't. I think Reddit's. I'll give you Reddit. It can be actually a very informative site when used properly.
Yeah,
like anything.
Yeah.
It's like an interactive Google. Like I think there's some really strong Reddit sites there.
And a silly one is Wikipedia. I can sit and read Wikipedia articles for hours.
There you go. There's worse things
You
you can
know?
do with your time. So, but
Yeah, you're essentially reading the encyclopedia to go to
yeah,
bed.
sure.
But it's not necessarily just the reading the stuff and your brain never stops. It's like literally the screen, like staring at the
Yeah.
screen, the brightness of it keeps you awake. And
Yeah,
so,
but this is the opposite. So they're saying not to do this kind of thing in the morning. I'm doing better. Like I admit, I'm on,
yeah, this is morning.
but still, the same thing applies to regarding the negativity and all that stuff. I actually try very hard not to go on my phone in the morning. I got to do better. So I'm going to really try hard to do better. The only thing I do is I put a podcast on right away. So when I get ready to do my morning routine and go to the car, I'll listen to my a daily, not my podcast, not that way, but I listen to a podcast, and that's how I do my morning. Is try to stay off Facebook, all that stuff. But I'll see the red on my apps. I'm like, I have to acknowledge that I've been interacted with, and it's just like, yeah, but nobody. But it's not really their interactions. No one's really saying, "Hey, Ryan, I'm just reaching out to tell you I love you, brother."
Yeah. And getting rid of like social media did wonders for that in the morning, because it really reduces the amount of things to even check.
Right.
Essentially, I just check to make sure no one called me. And also, like, mine's set to where if you're not on the do not disturb list, it doesn't tell me you texted until 7 or 8 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Or call.
Yeah.
Essentially emergency people.
All right. Well, I'm glad you got back to me, Zip, when I invited you on the show. I appreciate that. I feel special that I have you on text. So that's not a social media. That's just social.
Yeah, that's just, but you realize once you're off social media, I did this too, the amount of people you communicate. The one thing I miss about social media is all the podcasts I listen to where I know the podcasters, reaching out to them to be like, I enjoyed this episode, or you missed this, or
you got to
this
use the old-fashioned email.
That's because on Instagram that was super convenient. But I'll go back and look at my text, and I'll realize, oh my God, I've texted like my husband, Bob, and my sister, and those are the only people I've talked to in 6 days. Like but it really reduces your social world.
Right. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing the positive experience. Hopefully more people, I think this is one that everyone listening to this could do, but don't delete my podcast. Just
don't delete podcast, or at least take the first step you can take as far as getting off social media. Cause it was it was hard at first. Embarrassingly, you feel like like you should be constantly checking it, is delete it off your phone.
Yes, that's
keep
good.
it on your desktop, where you have to go sit at the laptop or at the desktop to check it. And then after so long, I got rid of that too. And
that's the first step.
Great.
Yeah. That's a good way to wean yourself off.
Especially Facebook. Facebook was the worst for me. Also, I had a lot of like family members on there that I don't particularly see eye to eye on a lot of things.
Sure.
I irritated them, and
I've hit a lot of the things I get on my Facebook. The majority of it is just like things I enjoy, like bands I follow, things like that. Very few people's feeds. I hide the majority. So if you're listening to this and you're wondering why I've never interacted with you, I don't interact with anybody I don't wish anyone happy birthday. If I do wish anyone happy birthday, it's my family, like my brothers, my parents. I do it via phone call or personal message. So I don't do the old, there's 365 days a year and I have X number of friends. I'm not doing that 700 times a year. I just don't happy birthday anybody, if that makes sense. Okay. So the person that's associated with that one is, have you heard of Ariana Huffington? She's the founder of Thrive Global.
Nope.
Okay. She does not go on. She's her phone in the morning. There you go. And she founded Thrive Global because of it. Yeah. All right. You have to understand, Zip, I scoured the internet high and low, and I reached out to all these celebrities asking how these are only the ones that got back to me, right? So I apologize.
You asked them personally. Which one of these do you do?
That's right. And these are the only ones that got back to me, so I apologize that the celebrity list isn't as excited as we hoped. Okay. The next one is pick up a book. Now, adding reading to your
morning. That's right.
Yeah. This one's weird, but let's see what the evidence is. So adding reading to your morning routine is a transformative habit. This simple act nourishes your mind, fuels creativity, and expands your knowledge before the day's demands take over. Whether it's fiction, nonfiction, or inspirational literature, immerse yourself in a book, creates a positive tone, enhancing mental clarity and focus for the day's challenges. Additionally, reading boosts brain function, leading to improved daily concentration and memory. Now, the one with the thing about this one is I don't disagree. I would suspect it probably
Mhm.
does these things, but this is where you have to carve out that time. You need like 10 minutes. I would say 10 minutes even. It doesn't, I'm not going to read it for 90 minutes, but read a chapter, read a segment, a self-help book would be good, or a positive affirmation book would be good. Even a funny book, a comedian's biography might be good. That's why I listen to a podcast. I know it's not the same as reading a book, but I don't listen to music or try to go on any negative social media or social media at all. I just listen to a podcaster that I enjoy, that makes me happy, that shares the news or something. So it's not quite reading, maybe it's in between, but I'm focusing my mind on things that kind of feed my mind in a fun, creative way. But yeah, maybe take 10 minutes and read something. I don't know. What do you think?
I think I read in the evening.
Yeah, a lot of people do
I'm
to
not.
wind down. To wind down.
Yeah, I'm my brain is still booting up. I can't throw a book. I used to read the paper before we moved up here. I lived in a small town, and so
Hmm.
we had a newspaper. I would read that in the morning. It was
Well, that's
also
probably
like
the same thing.
3
I think.
pages
Yeah,
long, but
well, that's what it says here. It says it can be nonfiction.
mm,
So I think I think the physical act of reading something that's there, I think the paper totally counts. I think that's maybe why life was maybe different back in the day, so to speak, back when people just read the paper in the morning. That might have been a way to focus their mind and get their mind wrapped around.
yeah, I think you can't argue with the fact that the society was better when people got their information through things like newspapers at a slower pace than getting it on, not to pick on Facebook again, but getting all your information from Facebook groups.
Yeah, it might not be the best. All right. For that one, another visit from the Obamas. Former U.S. President Barack Obama likes
Oh,
to read in the morning.
I figured he would start his morning with a heater.
When I reached out to the Obamas, Michelle and Barack both got back to me, so I appreciate that.
Mhm.
Thank you, guys. All right.
President shouldn't have time to read in the morning.
Yeah,
Well, he's not the president anymore, but
maybe that's what he did to become president, right?
yes,
Yeah.
that. All right, number 4. Embrace the cold.
Ooh.
Cold therapy, also referred to as cryotherapy or cold water therapy, entails subjecting the body to chilly temperatures for therapeutic purposes. Cold therapy offers a range of potential benefits, including number 1, exposure to cold temperatures can accelerate metabolism by activating brown fat, which burns calories to generate heat, potentially aiding in weight loss. 2, cold therapy's cooling effect can lower body temperature, correlating with improved sleep quality. 3, the bracing experience of cold water therapy can elevate energy levels and heighten alertness. 4, cold therapy has demonstrated efficiency in alleviating muscle soreness and expediting recovery following strenuous physical activity. It's essential to recognize that cold therapy may not suit everyone, and consulting a healthcare professional before embarking on any new therapeutic regimen is always advisable. I would say I know we said none of this was hangover stuff, but that's a hangover thing right there.
Oh yeah, cold. Really?
Blast yourself.
Oh, I don't know if I could do that with a strong headache. Make myself cold.
Oh yeah, this can go to hell. I'm not waking up and getting in a cold shower the first morning. That's the last thing I'm doing. Geez, I'll give myself a heart attack. No, I can see the appeal of this. There's people, what do they call themselves? Polar bear.
Yeah, my
Polar bear
brother.
guys that jump in the cold water.
Yeah, I'll speak for my brother Jason, my one I co-host most with on the show, and I wish he was here just for this one part because he could speak to it better. But he started doing this cold thing. He's been on a big weight loss thing. He looks fantastic. He's 50 years old. He's crossed the Grand Canyon. He's just really the best shape of his life at the age of 50. So everyone give a hand to Jason. But he does the cold showers. He doesn't take anything hot anymore. He's a cold shower guy, cold plunge guy. Everything's cold for him. So he swears by that science.
And so I just Googled brown fat because I had never heard of that. It's also known as brown adipose tissue, helps maintain your body temperature when you get too cold. It's the same fat bears use to stay warm when they hibernate. I got plenty of white fat, I can tell you that.
Come on, you look fantastic. How much? Tell the audience how much weight you've lost since the cold.
Right now, about 75 pounds.
That's insane.
I've hit a kind of a plateau.
Sure.
I haven't.
But that's a small child. That's a child. Yeah, you've lost an 8-year-old child.
No, right. I think back to like when I was in the reserves and we'd go on like a hike. How much I weighed then with all my gear and my rifle. I was like, that's how much I weighed when I was at my heaviest just walking around, and it's like how bad that was for my joints and my bones and everything. Yeah, if I could lose another like 10 or 15, I'd be like happy, but I hit a wall, and I've got to either increase my physical activity or improve my diet. That's
Or
where I'm at right now.
take these cold
Or I can
plunges.
start taking a cold shower and
Yeah.
induce cardiac arrest in myself and die in the shower.
So guess who implemented this? Of course, Jillian Michaels.
Who's he?
It's a guy, a girl. She's like a fitness guru, I believe. I think.
Okay.
And then Oprah.
Oh, she's got plenty. Nope, can't say that. I can't say.
I know that doesn't matter.
My hands up. Nope, never mind.
The only reason why you beat me to it is because I can't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, folks. We were gonna move on. Okay.
See, I grew up. You didn't watch. Oh, you didn't have to. Oprah wasn't.
Oh, she was.
When was she on TV?
Oh, she was on TV definitely when I was a kid. She's in the 80s, man. She was
in
like
the 80s. Okay, because I
huge.
remember my mom watched that crap, and I was on the TV. And him and
she's always been big, but
her and Dr. Phil.
Yeah,
hated those shows.
Yeah, Oprah created Dr. Phil and the Dr. Oz. That's her fault.
She creates multiple monsters. Yes.
Yeah, she has her own magazine and called and she's on every front cover.
Really?
Yes.
I guess that makes sense, but.
Can you imagine you're on every front cover? It's a little, it's a little much. All right.
Well, nobody reads magazines anymore anyway.
But her home's okay in Maui. That's all I care about. Okay. All right. The next one is, this kind of ties into what you're saying earlier there, Zip. Pets. So walk with your pets. Many successful individuals include their pets in their morning routines, and it offers numerous health benefits for both humans and their furry companions. Morning walks with your pet can enhance physical health, boost mental well-being. It's a mental refresh because you're outdoors in the fresh air, natural surroundings. And again, back to a little bit of that weight management. If you have a dog, for example, and you walk your dog, obviously joint flexibility, get your steps in, walking your animal and going for a nice brisk walk is excellent exercise. People don't sleep, excuse the pun, don't sleep on the benefits of walking, folks. A good solid 30 to 40-minute walk a day is amazing for your health. So there you go. Walk with your pets. Be active with your pets. I know if you have cats or something, you can't quite do that stuff. But do you have a dog?
I have a dog.
I thought so because I saw your picture of your email, and it's a dog. What kind of dog is it?
Yeah, she's a Great Pyrenees. So she is about 125 pounds. So she's huge. She was a stray. She lived in the parking lot of my old job, and so we get up in the morning and we walk every morning. We go out in the morning, I put her on the leash and we essentially walk out in like the courtyard of the apartment building, and she pees in the grass. And then in the evening, we go for a walk.
Yeah.
But I've got her, and then she's got to eat, and then the cats have to eat. And then I clean the cat's litter box in the morning. And then before we moved up here, I had outside birds. I raised chickens and ducks. So that was a big morning routine too. You had to go out and fill their water and feed them. And did anybody die overnight? Get the eggs. And they are excellent for setting morning routines.
Absolutely. Totally agree. All right.
And unlike children, they don't talk back.
Oh yeah, I know. I have kids and pets. My house is a literal zoo and circus, but yeah. I love one of our favorite activities is going with our dog. She's a rescue from Mexico and not quite as big as yours. Yeah, she's a Mexican dog. Yeah,
she's end up with a dog from Mexico.
How else did the same way old Mexicans come up north? No. She was just a rescue, and whatever company rescues dogs, she got rescued from there. I don't know the whole details of her travels, but she was a starving dog on the streets of Mexico, and she's now not starving anymore in our home. That's for sure. Okay, what do we got next there, Zip?
Number 2, skip the coffee. Contrary to common belief, starting your day with a caffeine jolt may not be the best choice for your health and vitality. There are 2 paths you can follow. First is benefits of delaying coffee. 1, while caffeine can offer an initial energy boost, it often leads to an energy crash later on. 2, consuming caffeine can heighten anxiety, resulting in jitteriness and potential headaches. 3, caffeine has the potential to impede the absorption of essential micronutrients. And number 4, caffeine's interference with collagen formation can contribute to skin issues, including wrinkles. Didn't know that. On the other hand, opting for water as your initial morning beverage can usher in an array of health benefits, including morning water intake replenishes fluids lost during sleep. Drinking water upon waking can rev up your metabolism, aiding in calorie burning and weight management by promoting fullness and reducing calorie intake. 3, proper hydration is vital for maintaining energy levels and alertness, combating fatigue. 4, an empty stomach benefits from morning water intake, stimulating the digestive system, promoting regular bowel movements, and preventing constipation. Warm water, in particular, aids in food breakdown and digestion. 5, adequate hydration supports skin elasticity, reduces dryness, and enhances complexion radiance. 6, hydration strengthens the body's immune defenses, aiding in the fight against infections and illnesses. And 7, water lubricates joints and cushions muscles, reducing discomfort. Morning hydration can alleviate joint pain, back pain, and dehydration-induced headaches. Remember that individual hydration needs can vary, so it's crucial to heed your body's thirst cues and adjust your water intake accordingly.
I always wonder about that.
By Big Water.
Yeah, no kidding. I will say for me, I have changed. I'm back on my intermittent fasting, so I will get that kind of a full disclosure. I've only been on it for a couple of weeks now, but I've already seen results. It does work. I think actually almost 3 weeks I've been on it now. I started.
Is that where you don't eat except for 2 to 9 or something?
Yeah. So for me, it's basically almost exactly those hours. Yeah, because my work hours. So basically, I go to work with a water bottle. That's it. And it's a filtered water bottle.
Can you drink non-water fluids during
nothing? You don't want to drink anything that will trigger the insulin reaction. So I just drink water, and so I don't drink coffee until the afternoon. So I follow this water one, not because
go ahead.
I'm
sorry. I was just saying I do that naturally. I don't eat until lunch, and then
it's intermittent fasting. By the rules of it, is you don't have anything to eat or drink other than water for 16 hours minimum. There you go. So that's the minimum. So it's 16 hours of no eating except for water, then an 8-hour window where you eat, but be careful during that 8-hour window. You don't eat like a gluttony of stuff because it's still calorie in, calorie out. I'm not a big guru on this, but intermittent fasting, what it does too, it just allows your body to kick into this fat burning, where's the food kind of thing. And then it digs into your fat a little bit, and then you eat during that window, and you don't overeat. You still just eat what you would have eaten during that window. So you're
that's the problem I have is you fast in the morning and you overeat in the evening.
At first, you will be that way at first. I was a little bit, but I find the longer I do intermittent fasting, it's actually getting easier. Now I do 19 hours of not eating. So it's increased I started off like 16, 17. Now I'm at 19 hours. I don't eat. And I pushed 20 the other day because then I'm like, I don't feel like eating. I just don't feel like it. And then I'll break it.
You don't drink any caffeine anymore?
No, not until the afternoon.
You do it in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm following this one. Again, this is another one that I've just naturally started doing, but yeah.
Yeah. I quit drinking energy drinks about, it's been about 3 months now.
That stuff's not good for you, man.
It's not. I just had to finally make the choice to because I had managed to cut out alcohol and some other bad habits. And I thought, let's see how far we can take this lifestyle change. And now I drink a pot of coffee in the morning. So
that's fine. Do you do cream, sugar? What are you doing it?
I just use sweet and low. Never cared for cream in my coffee. So I guess, is that still black? If it's only the sweet and low?
No, sweet and low. Again, if you're doing intermittent fasting, that you can't use the sweet and low.
You can't
use the black or just like a microcosm of cream. Some people put a pinch of salt.
Sweet and low is going to cause cancer. So is the sun. Whatever. I got to pick and choose your battles.
I don't worry about that. Yeah. I'm not one of those cancer food people. I don't ever get into that discussion because everything causes cancer at the end.
And I feel like so picky about the sweet and low, but it's just putting raw sugar in coffee doesn't taste like anything to me, and I genuinely don't like the taste of Equal and Splenda.
No, that's fine. Yeah, that's
Splenda and stuff. It's specifically the pink packet. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way our tongue is wired. But
yeah, I think you're doing just fine. For someone who's lost 75 pounds, you're doing just fine.
Yeah, and the alcohol probably that was a big step in the right direction on that. And really, when I quit drinking energy drinks and switched to doing the coffee, as soon as I woke up, I actually had sleep disruption problems. I think that I had been so used to having my caffeine jolt in the middle of the afternoon that when I switched it to the morning, I was having a hard time falling asleep for the first couple months, which I figured it would be the opposite, but I don't. So who is this person who doesn't drink their coffee?
This is Jack Dorsey. This is the CEO of Twitter.
Oh, not anymore.
Not anymore. No. So sorry, former CEO of Twitter. And yes, so he's the one that eliminates coffee. Sorry, he's the one that just has the coffee. So he's the coffee dude in the morning.
Okay.
Or sorry, eliminates coffee in the morning. My apologies. So that's Jack Dorsey, no coffee. But then it's Cameron Diaz, famous actress Cameron Diaz, who does just water in the morning. There you go. So I think Jack gave up coffee, and Cameron is pro water.
Yeah. No, I'm not ready to make that kind of commitment to give up the caffeine.
Well, you're no Jack Dorsey then.
No, I'm never gonna make $40 billion selling my social media platform to a jackass. Yeah. Anyway,
I would sell anything for $40 billion to any jackass. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll rent out the space on my forehead for a tattoo of an ad of something. If you give me
you know what? That's a good question. How much money would you have to be paid to write someone's ad on your forehead? This just says Nike's on your forehead. So that's a decent
considering
brand.
There's people that put all kinds of crap on their face now with tattoos just of their own accord.
What's the minimum? Not the maximum? What's the minimum?
Oh, how many digits would that be? You're talking 6 digits for me to. Or no, I'm sorry.
So Nike comes up to you and says, "Hey, we like you, brother. We want you to advertise."
You got at least $10 million.
That's fair.
Yeah, because if I'm going to mutilate myself and have to have a conversation about it every time I go somewhere forever.
I'm wearing a hat for the rest of my life. Wearing a hat. I'm wearing a bandana the rest of my life.
But you got to think, with $40 billion, I could invade a country with that much money.
That's what's happening right now.
Yeah, I could buy the Wagners and take over an entire country with that kind of cash. So,
last one, Zip. We've talked about this, but this is back to fueling your body and mind for the day ahead. Starts with a nutritious breakfast. It not only energizes you, but also revs up your metabolism and aids in maintaining a healthy weight. A morning meal packed with wholesome goodness can enhance your mood, sharpen your focus, and boost productivity. Kickstart your day with a revitalizing smoothie, some people do. Other delectable options abound, such as oatmeal with fresh fruits. Or whole grain toast paired with avocado and eggs. I do the avocado and eggs. These choices are not only delightful, but also brimming with vital nutrients to optimize your body's performance. Remember, a well-rounded breakfast should feature a blend of macronutrients like small carb amounts or protein and healthy fats, and rely on whole unprocessed foods, no Lucky Charms, to set the tone for the successful day. Now, I agree that you and I just finished talking again. This is not our list, so I don't have breakfast in the morning. However, if I was forced to eat breakfast in the morning, I would agree. Yeah, eat something like eggs. I would do eggs and avocado. I would do something like that. Sure, light fruit, not bananas. I'd probably do like berries, maybe like very sugar-free type oatmeal type thing with fruit. But yeah, most people do have breakfast. Like a lot of people don't. I don't know. It's kind of 50-50. A lot of people that don't have breakfast. There's arguments for and not for, but I have no desire to eat in the morning, and I haven't eaten in the morning in so long. It doesn't appeal to me. But some people just need to eat, and that's fine. You have to know your body. Like some people will get like migraines or headaches. So like their body needs some food. So the recommendation here, folks, if you need to eat breakfast in the morning, eat healthy. That's probably my advice on that one.
Yeah, I like breakfast. Like I agree. A lot of times I would make the conscious effort if I knew I was doing something strenuous that day or it's going to be a long day. I would make the effort to eat. It's just that I don't have an appetite. Like I wake up and I'm just not that hungry. But I agree.
Well, that's knowing your body.
But I agree that because when I eat breakfast, I tend to not overeat later in the day. And I tend to not fixate on food in the afternoon because you get, I'm going to skip this because I want to eat or whatever. So yeah, no, I wish I was better about eating breakfast. Just you wake up sometimes and you just don't have an appetite.
Agreed. That is the whole, the person for that is famous tennis player Naomi Osaka.
She's the only person in the world who eats breakfast.
She's the only one. That's why she's a world-class tennis player. Okay. Now, here we go. Just run down the list again and be ready, Zip, to have your pick. I will go first. I'll let the guests go last. So here we go. Number 10, prep before the night starts. 9, naturally wake up. 8, beat the sun. So do your activities before the sun rises. 7, meditate, reflect, and be grateful. 6, stay away from your phone. 5, read a book. 4, embrace the cold. 3, walk with your pets. 2, skip the coffee. And lastly, fuel your body with a healthy breakfast in the morning. Now, my pick will probably be the same as yours. I got a feeling, but I'll start with my reasons. So my criteria, I should say, is I have to do 9 of these. Let's say I have to do 9. You can pick one that you won't have to do. I will never embrace the cold. I can't do it. I just cannot do the cold. Jason, who's listening to this episode, my brother, I can't do it. I hear it. I get it. I do a lot of other stuff in my life that's healthy. Like I don't eat sugar anymore. I don't drink. So there's a lot of things I just don't do. Can I have this? Can I have hot showers? Come on. I got to have some sort of joy in my life. So there you go. I'm always going to have hot showers. I love my hot tub that my wife and I go into every night at night. It's one of our pride and joys. I can't imagine my wife and I go into a cold plunge tub. She'll never do it. So I'm going to be very honest. I appreciate people who are brave and are able to do it. I get it. It won't be me. I'll just die 2 years earlier in my life because I didn't do the cold plunge. So, yeah.
I am right there with you when it comes to embracing the cold. I actually don't mind it as a thing because I've done like an ice bath or sometimes just the simulation of it. But in the morning, no, that's just not how I'm starting my day. If I'm taking a shower, it's gotta be a hot one.
Okay.
Sometimes it's hard to get out of bed when it's too cold.
Yeah, I agree. So we're both, it's not often we're
on the same page.
We're on the same page. Yeah. Zip, I know you're not podcasting more. For those who probably already didn't know that Zip and his co-host Bob did one of my favorite podcasts. Zip was somebody I listened. They wrapped up their podcast, No Redeeming Qualities. You can still listen to their back catalog. It's out there. I miss you guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. I miss your voice. I miss Bob's laughter. I'm still not over the fact you guys are off the air. And I don't know. I'm gonna bug you until you get back on the air.
I know. If you want to go into the back catalog, you can go to nrqpodcast.com. Everything's still up there. Just the old episodes, also some of the scripted stuff that we did. And I am working on a written project. It's gonna come out sometime next year. Can't commit to a time yet, but don't worry, I'll be back on here when it's time to promote it, Ryan. So
sure. And I want you back on again as a co-host. You were going to be...
yeah, always invite me anytime.
We should get Bob with us too.
Yes, that would be fun. That would be fun to bring. I don't believe we have both been on this one at the same time. No,
not at the same time.
Bob is somebody who comes in hot with opinions. So he will.
We love Bob, but Bob, if you're listening,
I will put it in your ear. Maybe something Halloween themed.
Oh, sure.
He loves Halloween. He loves horror movies.
Let's hook up in October.
Do like the worst of the best.
We've only done
Halloween
one episode.
traditions.
Oh, that might. Yeah, I'll look up some topics. We've done one episode on Halloween. It's back in our. Go check out. It's an early episode. We did the best of the worst Halloween candy. So that one was already taken.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
You probably heard it, but it's been a while. But anyways, we'll get Bob on again. Thank you so much, Zip, for coming out. Remember, in front of every silver lining, there's a cloud, and today it was the cold water plunge.